Hello, everyone. Welcome to ETMartequity's Martequity Dialogues, where we explore the latest trends and insights in marketing technology. We have another captivating episode lined up for today. And to your delight, in today's episode, we have the privilege of featuring a visionary leader in the travel and tourism industry, Mr. Ibrahim Alapatt, the President and Group Head of Marketing, Service Quality, Value Added Services, and Innovation at the Thomas Cook India Group. Hello, Ibrahim. Welcome to Martequity Dialogues.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Ibrahim, it would be an understatement to call Thomas Cook as one of the top leaders in the industry. The brand kind of like brought a paradigm shift when it comes to travel and tourism, right? So, if I talk about the transition in the brand's own identity and services, how would you describe the change so far? I mean, and how about your marketing strategies? If you could briefly explain the whole transition to transformation phase.
I think we had started this journey of transformation. First of all, from a background and perspective point of view, as you said, Thomas Cook's a sort of foundational member of the travel fraternity in that sense worldwide. We pioneered group travel, pioneered the traveler's check, pioneered the hotel coupon. You name it in travel, most of it was created by Thomas Cook. In India itself, we've been in operation for about 145 years uninterrupted. So obviously, we're a market leader in many segments, holidays, business travel, MICE, and so on, foreign exchange as well. Being a traditional company that was founded as long back as it was, strengths were in a more traditional sense in terms of product development and in terms of distribution specifically. From a marketing fraternity standpoint, I think the most visible difference is the need for older companies like us, which needed to transition from a largely physical brick and mortar kind of structure, both mentally and physical distribution, to the kind of environment and distribution that we today operate through. And that journey actually started some time back, and the pandemic actually rapidly accelerated that sort of journey. We had started this whole journey on two foundational premises. One is that India was set for a dramatic change and a very different journey in terms of market maturity versus a lot of the other markets that I think traditionally people tended to believe that India would follow how the Western markets evolved in terms of the slow but steady graduation from a pure brick to a increasingly click environment. We made one bet that India would actually leapfrog, as it actually finally eventually did and continues to do. India has leapfrogged in terms of digital adoption in many senses, right? Digital transactions, digital commerce, and so on and so forth. So we made that one big bet. That was one. And two was the fact that despite this leapfrogging, where you'd see a very rapid, large market grow from pure brick to pure click, what you'd see eventually is that as an aggregate, you would actually see three different segments. One is emerging India, if you will, given the size of our population and the size and the rate of growth of our economy, of a large economy. We are pushing up the size of a medium-sized European economy every year, almost into the middle class consumption segment, which effectively means you're going to have a sort of lot of people who are in the market for, let's say, an international holiday, which is a primary business of ours, for the first time. And they need a lot of hand-holding, and they would typically be most comfortable in a very brick environment, right? Physical interaction, querying, personal, somebody to call, somebody to WhatsApp, that kind of stuff, right? At the other end, you've got this mature, sort of global Indian, born in the digital era, or highly adoptive of digital technologies, people like you and me, who, if you were not born digital as you probably were, or slightly older, quite a bit older, correction, a person like me who has adopted digital in a big way, right? So we have essentially moved almost pure click, right? If we can avoid brick, we'd actually would do it. So you've got a pure brick at this end, you've got a pure click like us at the other end. But what the big majority of Indians are, especially for the category of high value international holidays, is really a hybrid. We do a lot of research online, which makes us a bit of click. And we do a bit of the transaction online and offline, which is a bit of a hybrid sort of thing. And this is partly derived from credit card limits being a challenge to do the whole transaction online, you needing to maybe fill up a visa form because Indians need visas for a lot of these countries. That's still a largely physical conversation. Foreign exchange again is a physical conversation. The second bet to the point, other than the leapfrogging of technology, was the fact that India would actually be a hybrid ecosystem. You would have to be equipped to cater the pure brick for the emerging first-time traveler. You would have to be able to cater to a very lucrative, evolved pure click segment at the other end. And the big markets really are your ability to seamlessly offer a customer a hybrid experience where they can move from pure physical brick to e-commerce or vice versa seamlessly depending on the customer's comfort. And so that omni-channel model, as we called it, is what we really invested in over the last 10, 12 years. And that really paid off, and we actually accelerated that growth in a way forced to because we had to be contactless during the pandemic. And this paid off well because we were geared up to actually offer via virtual stores, video chat capability, etc., be able to offer almost full suite services completely digital during the pandemic. So emerging out of the pandemic, we're seeing a lot of uh, that shift where we use the physical distribution network and people and expertise, the reassurance of experts, and reinforced it with technology and platforms like video chat and e-commerce to be able to actually create a very potent combination where we are not just pure click like the OTAs are, nor are we pure brick like some lot of the mom and pop and smaller traditional players are, but we are probably the only truly omni-channel player of scale. And that's playing out well in India as we see it today because that's really where the market's going. You, as most customers, would do some preliminary research on, what are the kind of countries you'd want to go to, where are you likely to get a visa at short notice, depending on how long your planning cycle was. You'll probably get some references from some friends. If you're traveling with friends or you've got some friends who've traveled a lot, you will get their inputs. Then you might talk to somebody like us once you have a sense of broadly a short list, if not a decision on where you want to go. You already have an idea of how much money you can spend or are willing to spend. You already have a sense of how much leave or time you have. And these are really the parameters that any holiday or travel conversation starts around, right? Where do you want to go? How much time do you have? And how much broadly are you willing to spend, right? Then I need to understand you as a customer. What are your interests? What are the kind of places you would want to see? What are the kind of experiences you want? And that's really, again, at some point we must have this conversation about how the Indian customers moved from seeing things to doing things, right? From sightseeing to experiences. And that's been a sort of, again, a sign of more confident India, younger India that's more sort of open to experiences. So to use you as an example, we talk to you, understand you better. Once those three questions are broadly answered, then try to customize. So if there is a ready-made product, which we offer in terms of what we call the GIT or group tours, we could offer that to you, especially if you're very sensitive about price and want good value and are more comfortable traveling in a group. Let's say you're traveling alone, you thought you'd be safer traveling in a group, then that's an option. But if you want to say, hey, listen, I really want this unique set of experiences, I don't want to be stuck in a fixed itinerary. I just wanted to do 4 or 5 things, but I want to do it at my own pace. I don't want to do this, I want to add this and so on. We customize. So I think that's those are the two broad kind of categories. One is a fixed itinerary, pre-planned, fixed departure kind of holiday, very driven by a set of customers that are typically more confident with Indian food, uh, want the comfort of a bit of India when they travel. At the other end, you've got the FIT customer, which is where the more mature customer, more clear about what they want, more experience led, more insistent on some level of flexibility.
Thank you for that. Even though it's a country of like digital savvy people, but it's still a country with a digital divide. It's still
Yeah, that's why I said you have to have the brick and the click. You have to be competent at both. We already inherited the brick because of our age and reputation. 140 years, we already had the brick. We built the click, and today I think what we're really doing very well is allowing customers to seamlessly move. Because the same customer over years can actually move from pure brick to pure click as they get more confident.
Absolutely.
You could also have a customer going from, let's say, low value domestic holidays, which they're willing to do online, to a high value international holiday. And so the same customer may be more comfortable doing it, moving from click to brick as well, because of the value of transaction and the complexity. So I think the key is really to be able to be competent at both
Mhm.
and allow a customer to seamlessly switch even within the same transaction from one mode to the other.
And if I say, amid all these strategic changes, how do you think that Martech has swiftly just dived it? It had made its place. How do you think it has been integrated well into your own system?
So I think you can't drive the kind of distribution strategic changes that we did as fast as we did, especially coming out of the pandemic,
Mhm.
without the help of a lot of martech. So I think what marketing technology has done really for us is really leverage digital as a concept, as a medium, as a capability, and given it a whole different meaning. Because unlike traditional media, which was a lot about scale, investments, spray and pray, simply going by the logic of reach a large number of people with a single message and hope you get enough throughput back. What has changed significantly with the advent of digital and MarTech more specifically
Mhm.
is the ability to understand, segment, target, deliver, and get feedback all real time and all in a more relevant way for both the user and for us, right? So I'm able to talk to you because I know you better because of your digital footprint and what I know of you digitally, and able to therefore reach you because I have a fairer sense of the kind of person you are and the kind of interest you have.
Mhm.
Reach you at a time and sort of mind space, which again I get a better sense of based on what you are doing online at the time. I'm able to then, based on what you're currently browsing or looking for or spending more time looking at, I'm able to then even, choose the time of intervention rather
Mhm.
than, typically how a telecaller calls you when you're trying to have a shower, which is the most irritating thing, right? Because so similarly, I'm able to then catch you at a more appropriate moment where you're more receptive. I'm able to customize the message
Mhm.
based on what I know of you and what you're currently doing,
Mhm.
signifying what you're probably more interested in. And D, I'm able to close the loop real time while you're still on that device in that session. You can open up a chat window, you can click and do a video chat with us. You can uh, find my location with Google Maps, set up a call, or schedule an appointment directly online.
Mhm.
You could and effectively, if you, let's say, popped up a video chat window, I could have a real time conversation as we are having right now. I could actually make a presentation to you on the destination, play you an AV, send you a tentative itinerary. You could ask me a few questions. We could clarify it. I could revise the itinerary and send you a final one. You say this looks fine. What will this cost? Give you a cost real time. You're okay with it. You click. This is real time checking inventory and availability. You say, okay, I'm ready to go. Can I book right now? I say yes. If you book in the next 24 hours, we've got the special offer. You're saying great. You click, transaction done. I send you the papers. All seamless, all online, all real time.
Okay, so understood that digital footprints kind of help you to customize your communication, right? So even the introduction, if I'm not wrong, of a video call facility for users to like directly communicate with agents and obtain customized travel codes, it sounds very innovative. So how has this feature been received by your customers? Have you noticed any significant impact on customer satisfaction or conversion rates since its implementation, and even your other initiatives? So, have you noticed any significant impact overall on your conversion rates?
For sure. I think two or three things. One, we are continuously experimenting. For example, right now with we operate two brands in the B2C space, Thomas Cook and SOTC.
Yeah.
With SOTC, for example, we are experimenting with regional language websites. So the user can actually go to the SOTC website and choose if they want to see the website in Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, etc. Right?
Mhm.
And immediately the content would just switch. Let's say you're more comfortable in Telugu, you could actually switch the whole website to Telugu and deal with us, looking at the same content in Telugu. and then send us a query, and we'd actually get someone who spoke Telugu to talk to you so you're more comfortable. This is in complete recognition of the fact that language is a very powerful thing of communication. We are not a unilanguage country like, let's say, America or England. And each of these markets represents a sizable and growing opportunity in its own right. And by restricting our mode of communication to customers in English, we were actually restricting our receptiveness to that conversation. So that is something that we're doing. Similarly, today, when you query us or set up a call, you can actually ask for someone to contact you, and we'd actually, because we have this national network and people who speak every language in this country, we can actually have someone who speaks Oriya or Bengali or whatever to speak to you, in that sense. So we're doing that. To your question on video chat as a function, today all our ads carry a QR code where you can scan or join directly, set up a video call. You can schedule a video call if you are seeing the paper ad in the morning and you want to do the call only at 4 p.m. You can actually, in the chat window, set up saying, I want a video call agent to call me, at 4 p.m. In which case, then, you'll get a call on your phone or your device. Click it, a video window will open. There'll be a agent at the other end that you can see with your camera, if your camera is on, and actually have a conversation. To your point on conversion, we're seeing between 2 to 3 times the conversion rate, obviously on a smaller base, because for every 100 regular queries, maybe you're getting about 15 to 20 video call queries. But what we're definitely seeing is the person who initiates a video call is far more serious, is far more sure they want to buy a holiday with us. That's why they're initiating a video call. They want to be seen, they want to ask a question, they want to be reassured. So it's not a window shopper. It's not the kind of person who is just getting quotes from 5 people or just checking it out, as to use a young person's expression. But they're really actually seriously in the market. So you're getting higher quality queries, and the conversion, therefore, probably is reflecting because of that. So we're seeing nearly as high as 3 times the average conversion on a non-video call.
And if I ask about your specific strategies or initiatives that you have implemented to promote and expand your customized holiday segments, so any of your retention strategy, what does it look like, or maybe personalization, and how do you exactly use social media, maybe your ORM strategy, and many of those things?
So I think a variety of things. Again, to the earlier point on the beauty of digital and Martech specifically, I think is the ability to sort of understand you and what works to convince you better. So, for example, and I'll just give you an example. As we came out of the pandemic, we actually did 3 very tactical messaging propositions, and very radical, new gen kind of messaging as well, which was one around, we called it Gen Z products, which are basically an itinerary built around pub hopping and clubs and stuff like that, which is really itineraries built for younger people, which typically you wouldn't have thought a Thomas Cook kind of brand would do. So again, because we realized there were a lot of young millennial kind of customers who typically didn't want to do the boring museum, park, castle kind of thing, but wanted to travel to these places to do more fun things. So activities, soft sport, that kind of stuff. Two is we created something called the price guarantee, which basically said that, listen, we're so confident of the value that we bring to the table that we are saying, if you can find a better product at a better price, we'll match it, right? So we're saying, hey, listen, we're giving you the confidence to, till you travel, you look if you can find a better deal for a similar product. If you can, we'll bring down the price to whatever lower price you found. But you have to show it to us. You have to prove it to us. And the third part is that we said no cost EMI, right? So we were the first to get the first set of customers after the pandemic. We still do, by the way. We actually have tied up with NBFCs to actually offer a no cost EMI. So you take the holiday, you don't spend any money of your own once you're approved. You're essentially, your cost of the holiday is paid for by a NBFC, and you pay back after you return in 3, 6, or 12 months, depending on your convenience. No cost EMI, so there's no interest. So the beauty of it is, you really have no inhibition. You're not worried about risking your own funds. You're not locking up your funds. If you don't travel anywhere, it doesn't come into play. You're not paying back. But once you return, you start paying back in 3, 6, or 12 months. So Again, what we were trying to do is basically saying, okay, listen, what is it that's holding you back? Is it funding? Then I've got a no cost EMI. Is it about I'm not sure there's a better deal in the market? Maybe there is. I'm not so sure. I'm giving a price guarantee, right? If you're saying, hey, listen, I think this Thomas Cook guys are really old fashioned, they don't have anything interesting. Guess what? We've got a Gen Z product for you with bub hopping and skydiving and stuff like that. So, that's not an excuse as well. So essentially what we're trying to do is basically saying it's about saying what are is the button or the set of buttons that I need to press to get you to move from being non-buyer to a buyer.
As we kind of end this interesting conversation, what advice would you give to other companies in the travel industry that are looking to leverage Martech effectively? And if you could tell us some of the key considerations or best practices that have helped Thomas Cook succeed in utilizing Martech within your industry.
My this thing is, first of all, our perspective on competition is that we really think competition is healthy. B, we actually invite collaboration, and we really think, especially, and I frankly think it's that collaborative nature that helped us bounce out of the pandemic faster than most. We created platforms where we enable smaller travel agents who were impacted by the pandemic to restart their business in association with us, leveraging our contracting and scale and volumes. We did that for travel. We did that for foreign exchange. So we've got something called Holiday Mate and FX Mate, basically online platforms where these smaller agents or foreign exchange dealers could actually leverage our scale and online platform and tool and rates for foreign exchange, etc., to be able to restart their business. So our sense is really that this is a very large market. India is going to grow faster. We are already projected to be the world's second largest economy by 2075, right after China. So I think the market's there, the scale is there, there's space for everybody. We invite collaboration, we invite healthy competition. And I think this is a great time for all of us in the travel business. Youngest demography in the world, fastest growing major economy in the world, and a hunger for experiences, especially after the pandemic, where people realized for the first time that travel could actually be taken away. We know familiarity, absence makes the heart grow fonder. So the absence of travel actually made travel dearer for most of us. So I think that's here to say. Young India consistently is putting travel as one of their biggest sort of reasons they want to spend money across every survey from MasterCard to Crum and Foster and everybody. So I think that's good from our point of view. We have very strong brands. We have the trust of millions of customers, and we have built an ecosystem where we are very large and are able to personalize as well. So to be able to bring all that together, harnessing Martech and AI, I think is a very is pretty much an exciting journey that we're looking forward to.
Thank you so much, Mr. Alapatt.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. Thank you, Ojasvi.
Thank you.